Hey, what's up? I'm Trevor Guthrie. You're watching IDM.com.
Welcome to South Africa. How's SA been so far?
I love it. This is my second time back. I played with Armin Only, the Armin Only show a few months back, and yeah, it feels great to be back in the summer now.
Anybody ever told you look like Kurt Cobain?
You are the first person to say I look like Kurt Cobain. Some people say Thor, they say Brad Pitt. Kirk, I'll put that on the list though, man. That's funny.
A 2014 poll asking if marijuana should be legalized in Canada revealed
100%. 100%. It's harmless. It's got more healing properties than most drugs. How is that illegal? How is that wrong? It's natural. It's control, man. 100% legalized.
Amanda. You started playing musical instruments at the age of 3, and you speak quite a lot of languages too. So which instruments can you play and which languages can you speak?
I speak Spanish, French, and Japanese. My Japanese is so gone now. It's unless you're practicing all the time, it's hard to keep it up. Instruments, piano, percussion, guitar, bells, whatever. I mean, trombone. It's music, language, they're all connected. It's a matter of taking an instrument, taking time to learn it.
Can I teach you a little bit of my language?
Yeah, man, let's do it. What do you got?
You say,
You gotta say that slower and again, what? What?
Let's forget it. I think you're one of the oldest DJs playing tonight. And, yeah, and you're also, I think, one of the DJs who actually lived throughout the 80s disco era. What kind of memories do you have of that era in music?
I mean, the craze was pop bands, Duran Duran, Tears for Fears, like, and it was crowds of people like this coming out, but different genre of music. Now you've got EDM, it's same crowds of people having fun. Just the music changes. But yeah, I got to be a part of that. I got to be a part of the 90s. Yeah. So it's great because when I write songs, I can take from influences from the 80s and the 90s where somebody that was born in the 90s might not know the catalog of music that I grew up with. Duran Duran, Tears for Fears, The Police, George Michael. I was a big fan of George Michael. Corey Hart, Canadian Bryan Adams. Just anything 80s, really. I was into top 40 music, anything on the radio, anything that made top 40, I was a big fan of.
What is the biggest change since 1980s in music, in terms of technology, the music, the people, the fashion, the culture?
Well, it's funny because speaking of music, there's actually a lot of similarities because the 80s was like the birth of the keyboards and the synthesizers when they introduced MIDI and MIDI, right? So that's the way that synthesizers can talk with computers and triggering different sounds from a keyboard. And that's what's happening right now on stage. It's all electronic music. So it's funny that it was kind of late 70s, early 80s, that's when it was really born. And it kind of went away for a bit through the grunge scene in the 90s, and now it's back. Dance music. Everything comes in cycles, so it's great to watch it evolve and how it started and where it is today. Funny, long hair's in right now. In the 80s, it was long hair. I'm telling you, it's all cyclical. It comes around.
So you were actually part of an R&B pop group called Soul Decision.
Thank you for not calling it a boy band, which it was marketed as.
And you released a single called Faded. Yeah. It totally raped the airwaves in Canada and America.
Number 5 in US radio, number 1 in Canada. Yeah, it changed my life. I toured North America 4 times with 2 of my buddies. We were with NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, toured with Christina Aguilera, Destiny's Child. It was amazing. It was a great time in my life. I was really young. I was experiencing the music industry. I was able to gather experience from that. So when I go out today, I can learn from what I did back then to use it today. Being in a boy band was a craze.
You just called it a boy band.
Because the way it was marketed, the label marketed as a boy band. Yeah. That's a fact. We were in teen magazines, smiling pretty, short blonde hair. I had a certain look. What can I tell you? That's what was big at the time. But when no one cared about boy bands, no one cared about Soul Decision. It was this opportunity that came up where I got to work with guys like Marcus Schultz and Armin van Buuren. They didn't care about my past. They just cared about the songs I was writing and my voice. So EDM has completely embraced me, and I embrace it right back because they're giving me this platform, this opportunity as an artist to get my songs out there, to get behind the tables and spin a bit, sing a bit, connect with the crowd.
Would you sing R&B again, or would you join another R&B group?
Man, absolutely. You know what's funny? I worked with Nile Rodgers. So Nile Rodgers with the Daft Punk and Robin Thicke. When I heard that track, I'm like, wow, that sounds like Soul Decision 20 years ago. That was our sound. And people are always telling me, Trevor, you got to go back to that funky sound. The great thing about, working with DJs, working as a DJ, there's no rules. I could write a song that's funky, and as long as the message is good and it's catchy, you have an opportunity to put it into your set and test it out with the people. So I'm not gonna say I'll never do R&B again because I love that whole era. I love the funkiness. I love Nile Rodgers style guitar. I'd love to do another song like that.
Okay. What do you think of the level of EDM in Africa compared to the rest of the world?
I've only been here the one time and the reception was amazing. I'm listening to this right now. This is a lot harder EDM than I'm used to. I'm more of a song guy, more, you know, lots of vocals, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a tough crowd for me, to be honest with you. When you're singing, it can't be as hard. It's a lot harder when the music's hard, so it's got to be toned down a bit. It's a little softer. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I'll do my best.
So can you sing a little something from the Soul Decision days? Just a little sample. Give the ladies.
Faded. When I get you all alone, I'm gonna take off all your clothes. Ain't nobody gonna interrupt my game. Oh no, no.
Bam, motherfucker!